Good morning, RGL TV. Man, I can't believe RGLove's over as of today. What a week. And thank you all so much for hanging out with us this week. Your donations, your time, your comments. A heck of a week. So back again early this morning with my last two runs of the week. A couple of Konami beat-em-ups, both of which are very near and dear to me. One of which is more so a newer addition to my gaming library. But I've very much grown to enjoy this version of the game for sure. Also, before I get started, one last thing I want to do. For those of you who are generous enough to donate, again, thank you so much to everyone who has so far. Got one last incentive coming up right after this for Simpsons Arcade. The game is going to be played regardless, but if we meet the incentive, which I believe is $74 away from being met, then Ant Hole is going to join me for a co-op run. And I haven't played co-op with that person since Endure for Kindness back in November, and it was just so much fun to be able to play that with them. If anyone's looking to see that, by all means, feel free, consider donating, and we'll hopefully get that ball rolling. But for now, I'm going to be playing some JP Bayou Billy, known in that region as Mad City. The US version of Bayou Billy is most certainly considered one of the most difficult games on the console, I would say. The Japanese version is quite a bit easier, but still quite difficult. But for my money, it also does make it for a much more interesting speed run. And this run kind of got busted open over this past year. The record this time, around 6 months ago, 6-7 months ago, was like a high 16, I think, and within 2 months' time, myself and Mr. R. Knight got our low 15s, and then he went even further down and finally got the first 14, whereas I'm still sitting at 15-11. Optimization of this game is something, that's for sure. There's a lot of RNG, but it's still a fun game, and as Virus pointed out a number of times, the soundtrack of this game is a total banger. It's one of my favorite NES soundtracks. It's very, very good. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get us started. Started time is on character control. Go. A couple things to note about this game. This game has a lot of weird enemy manipulation. The first bout of which we'll be seeing up here coming up on this screen. We walk forward, just go ahead and kill these two guys. That actually prevents the third guy from spawning. So that's first in speed deck. I'm going to grab this for safety. Way across this water. Try to avoid as much water as I can because walking through water in this game is not advantageous. We move very, very slowly through swamp water. Or any water, really. This guy has a weapon and we want it. Stick is very, very good. It is by far the best weapon. I used to think once upon a time that the whip would be, but that's definitely not true. The whip just does like next to no damage compared to the stick. That guy's a bit of a gatekeeper in like actual attempts. His kick just has such insane knockback. Come here, you. One of these guys should drop food, so I should be okay on health soon. Really, video game? Okay. Look at that, huh? Another bit of a nip. If you go between the alcove between these two trees, it prevents the third guy from spawning on the left. Gun is very good, but it's also impractical. You don't get many uses out of it. Stick, you just get infinite use. You only see the gun, what, twice in the entire game? Stick you can keep indefinitely. Okay, so this guy with the gray bodysuit is a bit annoying. Reason being is because that's not the one. Their suit acts as body armor. That's something to be mindful of. Move very slowly through water. We gotta jump out. We're gonna see a lot of that here. Jumping's really the only way to get through this, ideally. Just cannot walk through the swamp. Way too slow. Ideally, we'd be able to get what I call gator boosts. If a gator hits you, it knocks you to the right, and it actually boosts you a little bit forward. You save a little bit of time. It's not very common, because their patterns are really weird, but what it is. So not a great stage 1. We had a number of setbacks due to some bad luck, but we're still in there. Quick note about this stage. This game actually featured cross-compatibility in controllers, particularly in using the zapper. You can actually play these first-person shooting stages using the zapper. It's not preferred, especially from a speedrun perspective. It can be a fun experiment to try, but it's not something I've ever really tried to bother with. Being that this is obviously a rail shooter, this is going to be an auto-scroller, so there's a decent amount of time that we're going to have just showing out here. What we need to do. We need the extra ammo. Try to conserve as many bullets as I can while also not picking up extra ammo, because ammo is counted down at the end of the stage, similar to how Nimpo is counted down at the end of the Ninja Gaiden stage. So it costs us frames to have more extra ammo available. We don't want that. Music here is real good. Any of those guys hiding in the grass, if you kill them, they drop an item. The items are not random either. Like they have fixed points. Hourglass is nice to have because while we have it active, it doesn't actually drain ammo, so I can shoot these guys on their way down. This is pretty random. They spawn at fixed intervals, but in random spots, I believe. Another quick thing, you actually don't lose ammo in these stages as long as you're hitting your targets. Any missed shot is actually a lost bullet. I think you actually lose ammo for that. Coming up here on our boss, I'm going to trade a bunch of ammo down to about 50 or 60 range. Copter is a bit of a jerk. Really, really random. If he tries to despawn from the stage, we're going to have a bad run here. At least a bad go of it. That was actually pretty lucky, but my execution wasn't particularly good. Okay, so stage 3 for the JP version is actually really short. We only had to deal with 2 enemies plus a boss. The boss can be a bit of a time drain, though, if I mess up early Manem. Come here. Get more hits, huh? Okay, so hopefully what I'll be able to do is cause him to come over this way. Go to the corner. Ah, shoot. Almost had it perfect, but he got away from me a little bit. We're gonna lose some time here. This guy's kind of a jerk right now, more so than usual. Yeah, that was pretty bad. It started super good, but after missing that, there was a critical hit that I missed where he was able to slip out and hit me first. Got him down pretty low, but not quite low enough. Then he got to throw us around a few times, but we still finished it. Still deathless. On to our second set of auto-scrollers. These are the driving stages. To say that these are much easier here than on the Adventures of Bayou Billy is, like, the word understatement doesn't do it justice. Those stages are very, very difficult because they involve driving and particularly steering that requires a lot of effort. Whereas here, this is more like Sunday morning driving by comparison. The only things you really have to watch out for here are obstacles, which include these other cars that are trying to back into you, puddles, anything the helicopter drops, like nukes. The big obstacles for me also any cans that aren't green, because those add on time. If I can get out of the sky, don't need to. The biggest threats here are definitely any of the cars that can back into you. This brown car that won't despawn is actually Godfather Gordon, who is the boss of the game. Or at least the big bad. Any car that backs into us is an instant death. We don't want that because we want to keep our items. Right now we have body armor and the wooden stick. We want to make sure we can hang on to those through the next few stages. Particularly at least up through stage 8. Whereas right now we're only on stage 4. Got him. Also, thank you for the good luck ball, Nate. I definitely saw that. So for the cans, if you pick up a blue or gray can, you actually will lose time. One adds on to the timer, and one adds on to something else. I can't remember. I don't know if it's just score or what it is, but I avoid both of them. The green cans are decent because they refill health, and that doesn't cost you time. But I don't treat those as an obstacle. I'll collect them if I need to. But here, you're not really taking much damage. It is. You're just trying to avoid death. Reasonable stage. And then stage 5 is essentially just more of the same. I think it has a much better music track, though. This is one of my favorite tracks in the game. The track's very, very good. It's also unique to this stage. One quirky thing about this stage, the red cars that can show up can be either just standard enemies that you can take out in one hit, or it could be Gordon. In this case, that one there was Gordon, and now we have to try to avoid him. There's not a lot about to get backed up into that by that car there. No thanks. We're gonna move out of the way? Okay. We can continually shoot Gordon to try to chase him off, but it's kind of dangerous to do so because, I mean, for me it is, because like I tend to get kind of overzealous when it comes to like trying to take targets out, and if I tend to try to go for it too much, I've had some tendencies to get greedy, and then they just back into me before I can get rid of him. It doesn't actually kill Gordon, but it does cause him to drive off, but he can also reappear, so if he shows up, I just take it as just, you know, to me it's just, okay, he's here and he's not going to go away, so it's whatever. Avoid all this. That was a lot to deal with. What was that? Game does not want me here on the roads today. It's easy Sunday morning driving. It's such a Konami track, and I'm so here for it. I generally tend to try to go for the dynamite on the helicopters, just because, you know, why not? Or eliminate one potential threat that could actually slow you down. Okay. Stage 6 is most certainly one of the most important stages in the run, and I'm going to try and show why. Okay, cool. Step 1. I didn't get the second one, though, unfortunately. Okay, so these guys that appear from the side here, you can actually manipulate them out of the stage through careful movement up and down. You can see there was, if you look carefully, there was a sprite of a guy getting ready to spawn on the right side, but by moving up and down like that and keeping them locked off the stage, you can actually prevent them from spawning, and it saves a ton of time. These guys with the ball and chain, you cannot, but that's just part of it. Then we just have to deal with. You can actually despawn these guys too. We haven't quite figured out how that works yet. Why did he take 4 hits? Oh, maybe they both just take 4 hits. We're gonna ignore the whips. Whips are not what you want compared to the stick. Go over here for some more manip. I didn't get him. These guys are really dangerous if they're allowed to run loose. They have knives, and knives do a lot of damage. They also control you with their movement. Here. Dang, he just stuck around for everything. That was great. Not bad. Piece of manip. Very cool. Alright, for the muscle heads here. First one's not too bad. The remaining ones are going to be a bit more dangerous because they carry armor, and armor is really, really good for them. Go ahead and get this guy. Not bad, though. So armor is annoying because we had to jump kick to get rid of it. Like we cannot actually use the stick to hit them. Got one more guy on the left. Rude. I want the stick, not the whip. I had to be careful there. Alright, that was actually a very, very good stage. Thank you for the update there, Virus. That might be the best stage 6 I've ever had in a marathon. I only missed 2 despawn tricks out of 6. It's pretty good. Nailing all of them is ideal, but it's kind of a pipe dream at times. Plus, I've been out of practice for a bit. So, this might get my vote for hardest stage in the game. Stage 7 is ridiculous. It's another rail shooter, similar to how stage 2 was. But it's incredibly unsafe the whole way. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and get some extra ammo just so I have it. The basic enemies you have to fight here are incredibly fast, and they will troll you with their movement. They'll also hide behind stuff like these doors, which can generally be annoying. The damage here is at a premium because there's actually no healing in this stage. So definitely an element of danger at hand here. There are a couple of items that are going to help us out. For the end stretch of the stage, we're actually going to be able to obtain some body armor to prevent us from being able to get hit, which will help out. Now, when they start appearing in windows, things get real bad. Didn't want to pick up that extra ammo either. Tend to miss a lot of shots here. Very, very simple to do. But I gotta be extra conscious of my health here, so I'm just gonna try and take them out as quickly as I can. This section in particular, like this exact frozen spot, is one of my least favorites because we lose a lot of time here just based on the distance. It's bad. Alright, there's our body armor. So we're at least safe for a little bit. Body armor you can just treat like invincibility. While it's active, you won't take damage, so I'm just going to wait till the blinking stops before I have to actually pay attention again. Sometimes the game control you by trying to shoot you as soon as the armor despawns. Done it to me a number of times. It sucks. Don't want that. I did not want to take the damage. I prefer to have 4 health going to the boss. I might be able to pull this off with 3, but I don't know. It's going to be tough. We'll see. And if it doesn't, then, well, we just spawned right before the boss fight. We'll just finish it from there. Alright, so here it goes. So we have Arnold and this boy. Run out of ammo here. That was really close. That was really, really close. Down to 1 bullet, too. Whew. Good ending. Alright. Stage 8, very short stage, but also a very execution-intensive one. Like, we need a lot of things to go right here. I'm gonna try and hit this guy to get his gun. Very good. Very good. Now we have enough bullets to be able to go pull this section off. Ideally, I'd like to lose my body armor here. I'll explain why in the last stage. I'm just gonna keep kicking him until something happens. Okay, cool. We lost our body armor. That's great. Quit hitting me, please. Gross. Okay, so here we're gonna go for a quick kill. Oh god, I missed it. Ugh, I missed the kick. Really? It's the armor, huh? This is not ideal. Okay, so this isn't good. I should be able to finish it without any issues, but this is definitely not good. You can definitely get a quick kill on this woman. I missed it because I don't know why. I missed the first hit, obviously, but that should have despawned her armor. I don't quite understand what happened there. Alright, so not a good kill. The rest of the stage was good, but the good news is we don't have body armor anymore, and that's actually great. Because now we've got our quick final boss rush. Godfather Gordon. Got a little bit of manip I'm going to go for. I move right down here, and I try to keep him in place here with jump kicks. Used to be 9 hits, but this is fine. Not too bad. Okay, so here's why we don't want body armor. We have Rocky and Rocco here. I forget which one is which. But one in the blue has less health if you lose body armor for some reason. Like, he only has 4 health as opposed to 10. So losing body armor is ideal before we get here. Pretty good finale there on the twins. And once we get Annabelle, it's time. First deathless run of this game in a marathon. What a good morning. Whew. Not a bad time either. 16:23 for all the mistake stuff that happened. I have no gripes. And while I have a look at a couple things, y'all enjoy this ending music, because this is one of my favorite endings on the NES. This music is just so good. God, it's just serene and pretty, and I love it so much. Thank you all so much for the GGs. It meant so much to me to be able to pull this run off today. That was crazy. That was super good. It's called Mad City in Japan, yes. Why it has a different name, I don't know. but it was, I believe